And there we go. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Good evening. Hi, everybody.
Evening.
Great to see everybody. We've already got some comments coming in, but I wanted to say hello to everybody first. Thanks so much for joining us. This is episode 39. No guests this evening. We have guests for the next two episodes, 40 and 41. Then we have a break with no guests, and then we have another guest. So we've got quite a few guests coming up. We're going to talk about those in a second. Jim, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I've been doing my Saviour act today. I took my neighbour to the hospital and brought him back because he was running a temperature of 105. So I did.
Happy
and apart from that, I'm addressing a group of doctors on Friday as part of my NHS stuff, telling them how they should treat their patients. So anyone got any tips on what I should tell them?
I know that over here, it's all about pain. Anytime I've had been in the hospital, Jan or anybody that I've known, it's like, they had the pain nurse come in. How's your pain today on a scale of 1 to 10? Then the doctor comes in. How's your pain today? I'm in freaking no. Anyway, so yes. Anyway, we've got some questions coming up, and let me say hello to our super sub, the world's best substitute, Jack Graham from Straight Talk with Jack. How you doing, Jack? It's great to see you, my friend.
So I don't know if it was Henny Youngman or Rodney Dangerfield said that I went to my doctor and he gave me 6 months to live. I told him I couldn't pay him. He gave me another 6 months.
Those Henny Youngman jokes.
That's a good one.
It's so funny. That is a good one.
I'm in Bishop, California, which is kind of between Reno, Nevada, and Los Angeles, on the east side of the Sierra, on the west side of the Sierra Nevada mountains. I'm at about 6,000 feet here, doing a photography workshop.
And where are you going tomorrow? How high will you be going tomorrow?
We're going up to the ancient bristlecone pine forest, which is 12,000 feet, and they're the oldest living things in the world. These are trees that are anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 years old, and they have a growing season 5 or 6 weeks, 7 weeks a year at that elevation. So
wow, that's going to be exciting.
I'm so lucky to be able to do this stuff and to be with you guys.
Oh, that's great to have you. But how many people are with you?
I have 10, and I have an assistant, so the ratio is 5 people to 1 instructor.
You have an assistant. Jim has an assistant. Her name's Clara, and I have an assistant. Her name is Jan. It's great. So what?
I wouldn't really call him an assistant. He's more of a co-leader, good photographer, good teacher. We have a good time together.
That's great. So it's nice when you travel with people, and it works out really well because it's sometimes.
I've driven a week ago. If you remember, a week ago tonight, I was in the UP of Michigan on Lake Superior. So I've really driven. I flew from Knoxville to Portland, Oregon, and drove down. So I've driven about 3,000 miles in the last 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me go to some. I know that Angie's going to be coming in a second, and I'm going to tell everybody the Wednesday drama as usual. It's not drama, but it's just it's the way things happen. Andrew from Oz. Hey, Andrew, it's good to see you again. Andrew keeps in touch with me on Facebook. Hope you have a great show. Thanks, Andrew. I am back in Canberra Spring to discuss where Cluytens sits in the pantheon of great conductors. Was he more of a French music specialist? Jim really knows a lot about Cluytens. I know very little. Jim, what do you think?
Well, I think Cluytens, he was a lot more than a French music specialist. I mean, what people remember him for today are mainly his Beethoven Symphony cycle with the Berlin Phil that he made between sort of 58 and 62, I think. It was the first stereo cycle with the Berlin Philharmonic. Even Furtwängler didn't get a look in for a stereo recording of that. But his famous things really are with Bayreuth. I mean, there is a 10 CD box of his recordings from Bayreuth. And they're all mono, unfortunately, but they're pretty good performances with some great casts. And I mean, Cluytens did everything. I mean, his French music recordings of the Paris Conservatoire are wonderful. Absolutely, really worth getting. I mean, it is worth getting that Cluytens box if you can still find it. It's 55 CDs, and it's about £85 when I bought it 10 years ago, and it's probably about £300.
Not 90p.
No. It was in the days when I paid good money for good records.
We're going to talk about that in a little while. Thank you, Jim. I know that Cluytens, one of the problems is with conductors like Rosbaugh, Cluytens, all these. There's loads of them. Constantine, forget his name. Famous conductors. They all got kind of put into the background by this juggernaut of Carrie-Anne. Carrie-Anne and the hair and the videos, and then of course the Deutsche Gramophones, and for whatever they were worth. But in those days, on the record players we had, they would, it's great orchestra.
Marketing.
Marketing big time, and he knew how to market himself better than anybody. And all those conductors kind of got pushed in the background. Now, of course, people like Klutsky and Cluytens and these great conductors. Frickjoy, Frickjoy is like a god.
Yeah.
So he couldn't push Furtwängler into the background, but he did push, or his team pushed just about everybody else. It wasn't on Deutsche Grammophon, and then Previn came along, and Previn made an inroad. But go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, the problem with Cluytens was that he was accused of being a collaborator during the war in the Vichy government.
Oh boy!
And
that'd do it.
Well, he wasn't. He was acquitted after the war, but Charles de Gaulle didn't like him. So when it came to appointing, he was principal conductor of the Paris Conservatoire Orchestra, and then Charles de Gaulle decided, because Walter Legge and the Philharmonia were stealing all the recording stuff to London for EMI and Columbia and everything, he wanted to form an orchestra that was going to be as good as the Philharmonia. So they formed the Orchestra de Paris. But he insisted that Charles Munch was appointed principal conductor.
Even Carrie did a recording with him, the State of France. Yeah.
But Munch is mainly remembered today for all his fantastic Boston Symphony recordings.
Because he has the Boston Symphony. When you got the French going, a friend of mine got a job in Paris, and she called her sister and said, "It's 3:00. Everyone's drinking champagne. I don't know what to do." I mean, they have a completely different mindset to work, right? And you get some Bolshevik conductor going, I want 5 extra minutes. They're going to give, get lost. I remember when we did the Trinity Men's Choir did the Defia, Three-Cornered Hat with and it was Brahms 3 on the opening of the program with the LPO, and it was Raphael Ferrit de Burgos. And I remember he's not going to get this rehearsal in. And at 6:00, he was saying, "Gentlemen, can I just have 3 more minutes?" And the timpanist, whack on the timpani. Everybody just gets up and walks out. Like, that just wouldn't happen with Carrie-Anne. He would just say, "You will be shot," Anyway, thank you, Jim. Let me just go through some of the questions here and comments, because we have a lot. And it's lovely to see everybody. We'll talk about that in a second. Joey, of course, says, "Hi, everybody. It's the best night of the week. Classical night with the awesome maestro Scott, Carl, and James. What a great lineup. Hey." And Joey says, "Hi, Jack."
Hi, Joey.
And Frederick, the wonderful Frederick, says, "Hello. Hi, Frederick." Now, Danny Lamar Evans. I think I've seen you before, Danny. I'm not sure. If you are new, a very, very warm welcome to you. It's great to see you. Come on up sometime, show some records. Come and show us what you got, right? We have lots of throwdowns every week with records. But if you're not new, welcome back. It's lovely to see you. Alan is here, cranberry sauce. Jim, can you read that?
"Hello, music lovers. I missed last week as I traveled to Massachusetts. Looking forward to tonight's discussion."
It's great to see, Alan. And of course, the wonderful Sky. Good evening, all.
Evening, Sky.
Sky, if you do come on, I've got something I'd like to discuss. This. Where the hell are we? Can't backwards. I'd like to discuss these Beethoven piano concertos with you a little further tonight. I've been listening all week to them, And you were absolutely right. They're really remarkable. But we can talk about that if you come up. And excuse me. And James. Hi, James, our friend lives close to, I think he doesn't live in Cleveland, but of course he's a big fan of the Cleveland Orchestra, one of the world's finest orchestras, in the top 10, I would say. I love teasing James. Good evening, all. A beautiful place, Jack. My favorite place to hike at South Lake Muir Trail. Do you know where that is,
I was
Jack?
there this morning. I was at South Lake this morning.
Wow. How exciting. Oh, you're getting around. And James also said he's going to hear Immaculate Connect Mahler third with that orchestra in Northern Ohio tomorrow. Touche, my friend. Well, it'll be wonderful. They've got a new French horn player. I mean, they've had great horn players, Rick Solis and King. They were great, and they did like a lot of great orchestras. They just move them down if they get a little older, and promote from within, like the Boston Symphony trumpet section. And Thomas Wells played fourth, third, second, and now first. Anyway, the Cleveland Horns did the same thing, but they got a new young guy, and he's really, really wonderful. So that
a good friend of mine went. In fact, he's a listener here, and maybe we can get him to comment once in a while. In Michigan, went up to see the Cleveland Orchestra do Sibelius Fifth last weekend, I believe. He said it was, and he knows his stuff, this gentleman, and he said it was not great, but it was way above average. And I guess they have a Finnish conductor there now that's quite good.
I don't know who that would be. It must be guest conducting, because
I think it's a guest. Yeah,
Francie.
He said it was very good.
Well, enjoy, James. Please come on and tell us tonight your anticipation, or next week. Next 2 weeks we have guests, so it's going to be a little harder. But please come on and tell us all about it. This is Leanne, the lovely Leanne from Lachute, Quebec, where I used to live for a short time. And Leanne was one of my students. Good evening, all from the beautiful Laurentians. Hi, Leanne. It's lovely to see you on.
Beautiful place.
Leanne, come on sometimes. Be brave, my dear. Be brave and bring on something, right? Because you got some great records, or you have some great recordings that you love. And I think you did when you were young in grades 7, 8, 9, and 10. But I don't know where that. I'm glad that love of music has become so passionate for you. Frederick said the Cluytens Beethoven cycle is very good. It sure is.
Yeah.
Postal Playboy. Hey, Postal, how are you? Any opinions on the original source Mozart piano concertos 20 and 21? Great question. That's the one with who's the guy that does the jazz as well, Jim? Not Bookbinder. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'll never forget good old, what's his name?
Murray Pariah?
No, he's the guy that does jazz as well in the 60s on Judge Cromwell. Anyway, the previous no, darling, thank you, sweetheart. No, Previn. He's
Oscar Peterson?
No, he's Austrian. He's Austrian or German. Anyway.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yeah, it's oh god, now I'm gonna find it. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. DG. Oh, now when he comes on, it's for the original. Okay,
well, no, the piano concerto 21, isn't that the Elvira Madigan one from the film?
Yeah. Let me just see who it is. Who the hell is it? Where? Gulda. Friedrich Gulda.
Oh, Friedrich Gulda, yeah.
Hey, thanks for your help, Jim.
Way to go, Daryl.
Well,
I'm not so hot on pianists. I mean,
Well, it's not just that. I mean, I wasn't impressed, and I sent it back. The previous one, he's very good, but there are so many great. We have some. Angie just came on, and we got some esoteric. Hi, Angie, how are you? We got some.
Hi.
We got some esoteric CDs, SADs to talk about tonight, including some Mozart with Mitsuko Uchida, and now they're the ones. They're the ones. DG, the original source LP, or the SACD. I go for the SACD with Uchida. We'll talk about that in a little while. Angie, how are you doing?
Honestly, I'm exhausted today. We got 2 shipments in. I'm in my work clothes.
You in your nightie?
And I'm still in the store. Not in my nightie. I'm still in the store. So
that's fine. Thank you so much.
I am.
We're happy that you're here. We've got lots to talk to you about. I've got a lot of images going to show and talk to you, bring you into the conversation.
Sure.
And so, yes, Postal Playboy. The second one may be better. The first one was fine. It was good. I mean, Abbado, Vienna, what are you going to do? It's going to be fine. But Gold is not my favorite cup of tea. We're going to talk about a Mozart recording in a second. I think it's got the 21 on, which you should get.
The funniest thing is I feel very fortunate. I went to an Arthur Rubinstein piano recital about 1973. I was 12 or 13 at the time. And it was absolutely well done. I've always been a great admirer of Rubinstein. But you know, when you go and you see these people live, and he came on and he used to have this little grey toupee on.
Oh, is that a toupee?
Yeah, it was a toupee. And every time, every time he sort of, you know, I think he was playing Chopin. Every time he sort of did a major chord change, this toupee would wobble on the top of his head.
Oh, God.
And it was quite, it sort of slightly took you away from the you know, the brilliance of the greatness of the man, you know. But hey, yeah, I often remember that recital, and it's what, 50 years ago plus now.
And Sky says, good for you, James. I'm not sure what that is referring to, but and Danny Lamar says, I'm new. Well, Danny, welcome. It's great to have you. Let us know. We're not just about classical music, but we're everything to do with classical music, whatever you like. No dumb questions. We'll talk about that in a second. We also do high-end audio as well. And we have the goddess of high-end audio here tonight, Angelina. She is. What are we talking about? I use a bad word here, but I always say Angie's got the best shit in town. So
I was unloading a truck today. I do manual labor too, you know.
You want to hear all about it. And Daryl, were your ears burning, my friend? We were talking about middle school teachers before and how you go to heaven and why it's the most difficult thing. Mm-hmm. All my friends have done it, will ever do. And James is jealous. Are you jealous of Jim living in London in close proximity to the London Symphony Orchestra? Is that what you're jealous about, James? Tech Writer. What's Tech Writer? It's great to see all these guys, all you guys come on every week and ask great questions. We really appreciate it. Jack, can you read that one? Can you see it? You muted, Jack.
When you're 110 years old, you forget this. I just listened to the Ravel Piano Concerto in G and in D major featuring Francois and Cluytens with the Paris Conservatoire. Highly recommended in any form, LP, CD, and stream. I think Jim really summed his discussion up of the Conservatoire and Cluytens.
And if you can't get it on CD, you can buy it on ERC, and it only costs $400. What is it? $350? $100? And Danny said, I'm new to the classical world. Well, you know, Danny, there's two types of people in this world, as I always mention. People who love classical music and those who don't know it yet. So I'm glad you discovered it. We had a couple others last week who discovered it. Can you imagine discovering classical music and it does something for you and you've got this whole world to discover? And it's very exciting. You became a fan of Van Cliburn and Fritz Reiner RCA Red Seal label. Yes. Would like to learn about other recordings. Well, you came to the right place. Scott is not here this week. We'll talk about that in a second. He'll be here next week. Scott is from the Pressing Matters, and Scott's our co-host. Brilliant person. Does incredible videos, the gold standard. But we go to the vault, and he's got a vault of records, and there's nothing he doesn't know about the pressing. So we got lots to talk about, Danny.
And Anthony, don't sell yourself short either. On your website, the dream list is pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, I'm brilliant. Don't worry about it. Okay,
no, it is. It's really good.
I said that I passed that out to Jim. I thought that Jim, that was a softball for you to just hit right out of the park. No, you know, the thing is, we all love vinyl. I mean, Angie's got an incredible collection. Jack's so knowledgeable, and so is Jim. So yeah, and whether Scott's here or not, you're going to get inundated with records. Plus, we also have the world's best peanut gallery. They're so knowledgeable.
And,
so you can
how about Sky?
Sky. Yeah, my wife's going to.
We should have a whole section on how much Sky costs all of us every week.
Did you buy as well? I mean, that bugger. Yeah, I know. Daryl said, unfortunately, I missed Mahler 8 with the Boston Symphony last weekend. Veni, creator spiritus. You know what Mahler said? He said, when that music comes in, I want like the universe is cracking. That's what he said. And he was so upset. He was so worried that he thought it was becoming this Barnum and Bailey extravaganza. Do you remember that, Jim? The Barnum and Bailey extravaganza, and it was going to be a disaster. But it was a huge hit, and there were stars and people, politicians went, and it was amazing. And if you're going to get a recording, well, there are a few, but the 10 step with the LPO and the LPO chorus on EMI, Tom Bowes, the fiddle player who was on was on that recording. It's amazing, and they recorded it in the Royal Festival Hall, which is crap, but they did a nice version of it. So, and now Marla, the Boston Symphony have also a great one with Seiji Ozawa. If you can't get the EMI, get that one. Very good. And Cranberry Sauce says Andre Previn. And thanks, Daryl. Daryl says Goulden, got the name. Now you tell us. James said that was Esa-Pekka Salonen with Cleveland and Sibelius.
Correct.
Yeah, he's a great conductor. Very finished, very dry sense of humor, or lack of humor. But he's a wonderful conductor. Philharmonia, LA Phil. Very good. And Max, hey, come on up, Max. Looking forward to some good Mozart Rex tonight. We might get to the I didn't get the homework, so we'll intro it tonight. It'll be primarily next week, but we'll talk about that. So he's looking for some good Mozart Rex tonight. We're streaming Wendell Marinick as that's a gold standard. And Frederick says Francois Ravel also on Japanese SACD. Wow. Now, Robert Keane. Robert, I think you've been on before. Please forgive me. He has. Well, welcome back, Robert. It's great to see you. Hello, all. I've been immersed in the piece Symphony on G by Lou Harrison. Does anyone know of a recording besides the CRA label recording, or any commentary on that piece in general? Lou Harrison, American modern composer. I don't know anything else about him, I'm afraid. I know Harbison, who played his Wing Quintet, but not Lou Harrison. I'm so sorry, Robert, but I will look him up. Anybody else know anything in the peanut gallery about Lou Harrison or our American Indiana brilliant graduate up there in the top left corner?
Nope. No? Not that brilliant now.
Sorry, Robert. I wish maybe let us know what you think. Maybe go a little bit deeper into it. Now, that's the question so far. So let me just talk before we start getting into it. What's been going on? It's all good. Nothing bad. Excuse me. So first of all, in general, please comment lots and ask questions, which you do every week. We love that. If you could please like and subscribe, that helps the channel. Thank you. And don't be shy, jump on. I'm going to put the link on soon. But we have one block taken up with stream images because there's a lot to talk about tonight. And your homework for building a first-class classical library, owned music, CD, vinyl, or streamed, Mozart's last 3 symphonies, 39, 40, and 41, which he wrote in 6 weeks. If you can imagine that. Can you imagine writing those 3 masterpieces in 6 weeks? It's remarkable. So Max was talking on our thread today on WhatsApp. He said, "Do you have any good Mozart recommendations?" I said, "Well, yeah, you wrote 600 pieces, so choose whichever one you like because they're all perfect." I mean, and most of them are. So that's the thing with Mozart. Anyway, and here's a SSP from Maui. How are you? Thoughts on Shostakovich's quartet cycles? Fitzwilliam is my favorite. And Jeremy says the Fitzwilliam is my favorite too. That's very highly regarded. Decker. For me, the Fitzwilliam, they were good. They were kind of like not flash in the pan at all. Very good quartet, but I'm not a great fan of English quartets, as Jim knows. And this Fitzwilliam Shostakovich cycle is very famous, but I think Shostakovich pales in comparison as a composer to Bartok string quartets. I'm sorry to say that. I know that. Please don't be offended. It's just my opinion. And he of course, he wrote the greatest symphony of the 20th century, Symphony Number 10. So it's not that he's not a genius composer. He is, but I just think his quartets are very, very good. like his piano concertos, but he didn't write piano concertos as well as Prokofiev. He didn't write quartets as well as Bartok. You can't be you can't be the best at everything. But anyway, if you like them, that's great. I've heard nothing.
The Borodin Quartet did a very good cycle.
Oh, with Rosny Dubinsky, yeah, very good.
I've just actually, funny enough, changed. I've just been listening to a Teldec Borodin Quartet of the first and third Brahms string quartets. Very good.
Yuli Turovsky, their cellist, was not a great friend of ours, but a good friend of ours in Montreal. He taught at the University de Montreal, and one of the greatest musicians I've ever met. Incredible. That's Fitzwilliam, yeah, and that's Max said they studied that with the composer. That's great. And the Bartok quartets by the Takacs. It used to be called the Takacs Nage when Jim and I were at Trinity, and they were amazing quartet. And they had a big fight and broke up. But Bartok quartets will be something coming up on the homework. And Octopus Triotti, my recommendation, Mozart K467, Bishop with Colin Davis. Stephen Bishop Kovacevic, great Mozartian, and so is Davis, the LSO. And Paul, who's a violinist, Lou Harrison wrote a concerto for violin percussion, which was recorded by Udice Shapiro on Crystal Records. Thanks, Paul. Crystal do a lot of American works. And Jeremy says Mozart violin concertos with Grumio would be my recommendation. Absolutely. And then Postal says, hey, Robert, Apple Classical has 3 versions of that piece. See what I mean by the Peanut Gallery? Incredible. So let me just tell you a little bit about what's been going on. So Wednesdays is our day. This is episode 39, Ange. Can you believe it? Episode 39. So and we do it. We only had 1 week off when I was on vacation. And I'm not sure what we're going to do over Christmas, but we've got probably next 7 or 8 weeks continuing. So it's every Wednesday. But for some reason on these Wednesdays, and thank God for Angie and Jack and our regular James, Scott, bless his heart, who we absolutely adore, has had staff meetings mandatory that he has to attend on his day off, which is why we chose a Wednesday. So he has to go into his place of work and have a meeting at exactly the time of the live stream. That's the first thing. Then, if you remember, 2 Wednesdays, TELUS, our local ISP provider, decided to have some problems. And that was a massive problem. We just got in on time. Then we had power failures, 2 scheduled on Wednesdays. We just got in on time. Then the following Wednesday, some idiot took out 2 poles just around the corner, and we had no power, and we got in again just in the nick of time. Then there was a goddamn hurricane. So Scott last week and Osvaldo, who's going to be, I guess, next week, he's coming on, making a return appearance. They had to hunker down because they thought it was going to be a 5. It was only a 3, but thank God they were all okay. So there's been just this Wednesday, hump day has been this amazing thing. Yet, and then of course, Carl is doing a speech in Finland, and the only flights he could get on is Wednesday, so he's on a plane right now, and then he gets a flight back on the next Wednesday. So it's been like, oh my God, just organizing this thing, and then getting the guests. I mean, the guests, you give them a day. Oh, can you do this day? I can do that day. So it's been a fun, but a challenge. Next week is regular. Scott will be back. Jack will be subbing for Carl. Carl. Angie has a place at the table anytime she wants it. She's the boss, so whatever she wants. And I know Jim's going to be here. Clara will not be making an appearance because Clara's busy working on, what is it, EastEnders? Yeah. And Jan, I asked Jan, you can come on again tonight, sweetheart? She went, are you coming on? No. A flat no. So that's it. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do, guys, and please, I'm rabid on here. If you see something that you want to talk about, let me know. So let me talk a little bit about the guests we have coming on. So next week we have Osvaldo Martinez. from Let There Be Sound hi-fi store in Miami. So that'll be fun. He's going to do it. He was in a brick and mortar store, but he now works out of his home, which he says is interesting. Some good things compared to the store, some bad things. But he's going to be there next week, and he has some interesting equipment. Then the following week, October 30th, we get Robert Wynn, who's the principal flute of the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, ex-principal flute, professor at the Hochschule für Musik in Cologne, Germany, one of the world's leading teachers. So many of his students are principals in orchestras. And he was principal flute of the Royal Philharmonic, appointed. And he was at the Royal Academy when Jim and I were at Trinity. And I think I've told the story, but I'll wait for Robertson to tell that story about my overplaying girlfriend. That was a very interesting story. But Robert's an incredible musician. He put some stuff on Facebook. I'm hoping I can maybe play it on here, and you actually hear his playing. He's magnificent. Paul Sheeman's coming on, another friend of mine from in the Edmonton Symphony, music director of the Alberta Baroque Ensemble, and a concert organist. He's one of those guys, multi-talented. We also got a friend of Jim and I, Mike Dixon, world-class accompanist, author, and legendary music director for London's West End. And he did the most popular Beatles revival of all time. So we can talk about that. Beatles, and more Beatles. So he's coming on. I'm not sure when. Soon. Beth, we're going to get for a return appearance. Jim's friend, Jonathan Ailing, from the co-principal of the Royal Philharmonic, cello. Robert Wolfley, we're going to get on. That's my friend from the North. Dr. Mark Berry, just an amazing man. We're going to get him on. And then I just scheduled today, I'm not sure when he's coming on, but he's coming on soon. Nicholas Van Pucke, he's a Dutch concert pianist, and he's a triptych and 2D director disc artist, an amazing guy. So let me just show you. That's Robert Wynn, principal flute, and that's Nicholas. Look at that brooding, handsome Dutchman. What an artist. Now, if you got his triptych, some of you will have his triptych Schumann LPs, which are on the dream list, and are just amazing. Okay, so now, and that's Paul Sheeman. I've shown that before. He's coming on. So we got a lot of great guests coming on. Okay.
Anthony, I'm sorry to interrupt. Did I miss A.B. Fong? Didn't you have
A.B.
on the list?
On the list, but she's not been able to schedule. I've tried, and I tried like 2 or 3 times. Then I don't want to be a nudge. You know what I mean, Ange? Like they can't make it. They can't make it. They can't make it. I don't want to be a nudge. I mean, I'll try again because I mean she's A.B. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's I've got phone calls out to people in our industry, you know, high end and reviewers and stuff. So we'll see. But I ask once. When they say no, that's fine. If they say I'm not sure, I ask 2 or 3 times. But then I don't want to be, you know, I don't want. Okay, so here you go, guys. Discuss. Can you see that? And people in the peanut gallery, please let me know your thoughts. So there was a big article this week spread out through social media that record sales dropped 33% in 2024, which was quite staggering. Now, of course, there was a big record influx of sales over the Renaissance, but it did drop in 2024. They said they used the wrong metrics, and it's actually about 5% less, but it's still quite a big drop. Do you have any ideas why it would drop? What do you think?
I think that a lot of the resellers of vinyl aren't even being recorded on their sales. So where do they get those figures? So if we've got all these individuals and these record shows, I don't think those are actually recorded in any way. So that's probably a small percentage, but still it's a percentage that's missing from that accounting.
A lot of the people who are piling on about that, and that's fine, they all have opinions. They were saying a lot of it's to do with the prices. Now, I just purchased an esoteric LP today. $170 to get it before it's coming out. And we'll talk about, I'm going to show them in a minute. That's a lot of money for one LP. And I'm happy to do it because I'm going to review it. for work, Jan. And Angie's been incredibly kind and sent me stuff before. And they're very expensive. You know, someone has to pay for them. So Angie pays for them, right? Right. It's a lot of money. So, excuse me, even if you're buying them, you know, wholesale, a lot of money. So that is part of the problem, the pricing of these records. Jack, what do you think of the pricing of jazz records? I think that $38, is that good?
You know, it depends on. I think that we've been trained to pay between $30 and $50 for a record, and we've done that, and maybe it's getting high, but it's good. The cost of producing a record and pressing a record and doing everything they need to do to make the record sellable, it's not cheap, but if you go back to 1975 or 1980, we were paying $10 for a record back then, or $12, and in today's currency, that's about $25 to $30, maybe a little more. So I think
sorry, go ahead. The classical, I mean, we get
I'm going to get something. I'm going to show you.
Yeah, we get 12 records from esoteric. We get 4, 8, 12. You get 16 from DG. We got those new ones from Hyperion, and that's about it for classical LPs, vinyl.
So you make the pie, and popular music, jazz, classical, whatever. I gotta believe that the popular music is the driving force. And I heard a statistic, and I don't want to say it because I'll be wrong, but a huge percentage of all the pop music record sales is Taylor Swift. I mean, it's like 30.
Dear Taylor.
It's huge. It's huge. And if you have one person having that amount of demand from the people who buy that kind of music, maybe those people can't afford the. So I kind of agree with Angie. I think that the reporting is probably inaccurate, and I was quite surprised Billboard. I mean, that's a record magazine.
That's right.
So let me show you something about the cost of records and how sometimes it can get out of whack. So some of the records I'm selling are averaging between $50 and $60. But then I found these buried when we moved from the South Store to the North Store. This is $390 record.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the 40. Oh, yeah, the classic record 45.
Now, these are recorded, but why? You just need an explanation. They're recorded on 45, first of all, but on one side of the record only. All right. So
Angie,
it's a few records.
Angie, you have my address, right? Just so you know.
And then there's this one.
Oh, Angie, I'm going to call you a name. These are amazing.
Yeah. So that's 300. Okay, that's Canadian dollars, but still. So when this came out, though, which is probably more than 10 years now, when this first came out, it was probably $300. So it was expensive to make, manufacture, and come out. So even 10 years later, it hiked up $90. That's absorbable. But how many people are going to do that? And you're going to have a table that's probably, I know a few people that've got $300,000 turntables, $100,000 turntables. That's the guy that's going to buy this record. Or the guy that's always wanted to have that final copy and the best possible recording. Here you go.
His name's
Scott. He's got a $10,000 table. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's some of the used collectible stuff, the desirables, are over the moon. I can't
believe you had those records. Tech Writer says drop likely because there was such a high peak, unsustainable for a length of time beyond the pandemic factor that spurred large sales. That's exactly right.
But there's opportunities too. People drop off records and say, Angie, I don't want them anymore. And I'm sure all of us have gotten those records from people where they're
When are you
just
gonna get-
donated.
When are you going to get your store up? Your record store?
Still working on. I've got a show to do in Warsaw, another show to do in November in Washington. So it probably be 2025. I've hired somebody to take care of it,
We'll
but
be
I've
there.
got to teach them how to, evaluate each record and
Oh,
what
you
to
can.
list.
I'll be happy to do some of that for you and take a one LP pretend commission. No problem.
No,
Okay, so-
I'm thinking I'll go if there's any college or university student that wants to learn about classical and have hands-on and record stuff for me.
we got a couple of guys here tonight.
All
Scott
right.
says, that's why
I
we should
can't
buy
afford
more.
them.
Mozart recommendations coming. I think people buy more used. Well, that's yeah, because you keep recommending them, Sky. Okay. Leanne says, dollars in physical space. I only buy physical music these days if I dearly love it. Absolutely. And I mostly stream now. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? There's some great stream. I mean, I'm not a streaming guy. I'm a vinyl guy, and it's never gonna. Vinyl's still the best. But I heard some incredible streaming I heard streaming at Angie's way out, which I still can't get over. It was $300,000, but it was incredible. Robert Keane says, for record store day, most LPs are pressed between 2 and 5 copies, 2,000 to 5,000 copies. But a few major pop artists have 20 to 30. So I have to agree, a few pop artists do sell massive amounts. Absolutely. So let me go back to the stage. So yeah, so I thought that might spark some. Angie,
Yeah.
Robert has a good question. What's the idea behind one-sided 45s?
So you have a wider groove, so it's not as compressed. It's not as close together, so the cartridge rides the groove a lot easier, effortlessly. And that generally means that you're going to get a quieter recording and more dynamics.
Thank you, Angie. Absolutely. Bang on. Okay, and now to the next slide. Okay, so I was talking to Jim about the, we call them the Wank and Smile, the rank and file violas in the CBSO, great orchestra. 35,000 pounds a year, which is ridiculous. Then the New York Philharmonic, which deserved it, settled for 204,000 US a year for base entry level price salary, which is great. Got to live in New York, but it's still a really good salary for world-class players. The principal flute's going to be making. I was told the principal flute in Boston, she's a very fine English player, Scottish player, is making $500,000 a year. So wow. They're worth $500 million, the orchestra, right? So this was on Slip Disc today, Norman Lebrecht's blog. What Minnesota is prepared to pay an international pianist? So the University of Minnesota in Duluth. So you got to live in Duluth, which is the top of Lake Superior. Nothing but snow and ice and cold and rain. Assistant professor, and you got lots of stuff. You got to have a DMA or PhD, and it's $47,000 a year US. Can you believe that? That's what they're paying.
No.
Jim, what do you think about that?
Well, to an English person, it's probably not a bad salary. I mean, you've got to remember that, certainly in the UK, I don't know about Europe because it's a different thing, and with Brexit, nobody knows. But, as a result of Thatcher and everything, has forced down wages in the UK for the last 40 years. And I don't know if you've seen the latest figures, but the latest figures for UK wage increases on an annual basis, we've gone backwards in the last 5 years, whilst the rest of the world, I think in Europe wages have gone up 45% or something over the last 5 years. In Britain they haven't gone up at all. So it's horses for courses. I mean, in this country, it's like your friend doing his $22,000 turntable. Very few people in the UK would have anything like the resources to pay something like that for a turntable. They just wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and let's keep on going. So yeah, that's the going rate. You have a DMA. You spent all that money studying overseas, and you get to live in Duluth, and teach kids who's going to the University of Minnesota Duluth to study piano seriously. I'm sorry, that's the way it is.
But a lot of those places, when you're going back, they have people like John Ogden. We taught at, was it Oklahoma State University or something?
No, Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Jack's place, yeah.
All
He
right,
got fired because he never showed up.
I don't blame
them. It is interesting because a lot of these people were lured there. What's the name? The soprano, the famous soprano, who taught at Oklahoma. What was her name? She was Toscanini's original Turandot, English woman from Barnsley. Can't remember her name now. But U.S. universities pay a hell of a lot more than English universities pay for their professorial.
Did you hear today that the guy that got done for beating up that singer and the trumpet player in the LSO, what's his name? John Elliott Gardner and his group, the Monteverdi. They're connected now with Trinity, and they're going to be doing all their early music stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah. So Danny would love to be on the panel, and Danny, I will post the link soon. Okay. Now Jack has to leave at 6 o'clock, and I want to just talk to Jack for a second. Jack, do you have any? Did you get any records to show, or is it none this week?
Where I am, believe me, there are no record stores. I had about 12 hours at home before I had to fly, so I have nothing with me.
That's okay, Mike.
I would defer to Guy or some Danny or some, bring somebody up and.
We will.
Whatever.
So. When you head off, I'm going to put the link up, and we'll have room for 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, next week, I'll take.
That's okay, buddy. We're just happy to have you, and I'm so thankful you came on. Okay, so this is the record that I ordered. I don't have a Flory Requiem. It's a beautiful piece. The best recording I've heard, is the Atlanta on Telarc, which is incredible. But this is the esoteric vinyl. There's 2, so I've ordered that. It was $170 to get ahead of time in Japan, and I'll review it for the magazine. But it's Andre Cluytens, again talking about Cluytens, Paris Conservatoire. But look at the soloists, De Los Angeles and Fischer Disco at the height of their powers, and it's beautiful. Flory Requiem. A lot of people have sung it because it's not difficult to sing. It's very easy to conduct, but it's a beautiful piece. So that's coming. And then I've got this one. Angie, are you getting that one?
I thought that was the one I was supposed to send you.
It is. I just don't want to be I don't want to be a ball buster, Angie.
You have to ask me. Okay, there's one thing. You can ask me anything 3 times. It's the 4th time that I explode.
And explode.
All right. Okay. So I don't think you reminded me, and you know what I've been going through with my mom.
Absolutely.
So I need that nudge.
No.
And so I think I've got it here.
And I'm not going to nudge you the second time. And because I paid for the other one, and I'm happy to, and esoteric.
I'll send this out. I'll have Arnold send it out tomorrow. My apologies.
Yeah, but you never have to apologize to me ever. Thank you, Ed.
I'll get that. This mom thing's been going on. I've been slipping.
Of course, you got bigger things to think about. But anyway, so for the team, I'll review both of them, and they're coming out.
You got it.
Again, we only have 12 releases a year from the great. 8 releases in LP, and you can't do it. I mean, they're taking their time because they're magnificent. But it's. I wish we had more. And this one, Jim. Could you talk a little bit about this one? Because Jim's nominated this one for one of the recordings of the year that's coming out December 1st, the products of the year and recordings of the year. And we're going to give one away now. Jim mentioned this. Tell us about the wonderful Julia Fisher.
Well, I found this my friend Kelvin, who's probably listening today if he's on, sent me this for my birthday. And I started listening to it a couple of days ago. And I mean, I love the Paganini Caprices. I've heard them done by everybody from Ricci to Menuhin to whatever at the Wigmore Hall and stuff. But what I love about this recording is that she treats them not as violin studies like a lot of players do, and they flash through it, and but she treats them as 24 separate emotional encounters, really, with the violin, if you like. And it makes it a very, very riveting performance. The 24 just they go past so quickly. The sixth, which is the longest one, it lasts over 5 minutes. I don't know how she manages to do it, but she makes it sound like a sort of ghostly jewel that sort of shimmers and sort of it's and obviously the Decca sound does it good justice as well. But she's also phenomenal. She's recorded the Grieg piano concerto. I'm just looking on the back here. She's done a double album, double Saint-Saëns Violin Concerto No. 3 and Grieg Piano Concerto, and she plays both of them with the Younger Deutsche Philharmonie and Matthias Pincher. And I think, wow,
he's very good.
I've never known anybody actually have the guts to do that. But listening to her Paganini, I think, wow, I think people should listen to it. It's quite if you like violin music, certainly it can open your ears to a whole new attitude about Paganini.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jim. We'll look out for that one. And guys, you can stream that and tell us what you think. Now we've got a couple of other slides. Okay, so this is
I'm going to run.
Okay, Jack, take care of yourself. Have a great time.
Have a good time.
Rest of the show tonight. So
we'll talk to you. Okay, bud?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
Take care.
Let me just get the we have room for 2 right now, probably more. So there we go. Okay, so people were asking about Mozart. This is one of Angelina's companies that work with Angie, Esoteric. This is the SACD. This is not the LP. But let me tell you something. Their SACDs are so remarkably good that really the differences are just, because as Frederick says, Esoteric LPs are mastered from digital files. Well, there's a digital step in there. There's a DAC in there. That's it. The rest is all analog. But as I said, digital is in our analog future. We can't get away from it. It's the way it is. And I've reviewed it. Hang on. There's Sky. Hey, Sky, how you doing, buddy? Sky can't wait to get up. Jan, Sky arrived. Get ready for Jan says hi, Sky. So anyway, but for Max and the other guys who were talking about the Mozart, Mitsuko Uchida, she was like 3rd or 4th in the leads, never won a major, but she's just a magnificent artist. And these are live. And so these are the Mozart sonatas, but she's amazing. And so I will, if Angie wants to send me any of these, I'm happy to review them. They're wonderful. And this one is not my favorite piece, but it'll be a great Tosca with the Vienna Phil. It'll sound fantastic. And Leontine Price, look at that great face. So that's one. But this one, there we go. Previn on Esoteric with the LSO doing all this great stuff. Rhapsody Espanol, Rhapsody in Blue, American in Paris, and the Concerto in F. So that'll be a great album. Okay, now on to some equipment. So we've got to about 35 minutes. We're going to show some records. So I'll just go through this quickly. This is called My Little Friend, FWEND. And we're coming to that, Angie, Analog Relax. I purchased this turntable. The review's coming out December 1st. It's the Pure Fidelity Symphony turntable with the audio, the Pure Fidelity Savant arm. It's absolutely magnificent. And I thought, if it leaves my sound room, I'm going to be mooning all over the world. Why I'm going to miss it every day. It is so incredible. So I asked John, can I get an accommodation price? And he was very generous, as was the what do they call it? The distributor of the Akita when I purchased that and paid for them. So, but I got an incredible deal. So Angie says to me, Angie, who does phasmation, which I love, right? My heart's desire. And another one we're going to talk about in a second. And Angie said to me, well, thanks for kicking. Give me the gears. And she always says, thanks for kicking phasmation in the curb, Anthony. And I said, what are you talking about? I've done nothing but phasmation for 10 years and I've loved them.
You got the 2-year itch.
Hey, that's right, sweetheart. But the Aikida is magnificent. But the Aikida is $12,000 Canadian. I did not pay anywhere near that for it. I got an accommodation price. So I said to Angie, but in a year, the rule is you have to wait a year, then you can sell it. So then I'll sell it and get a phasmation PP 5,000 and maybe get a deal on it. Or maybe Angie will send me one of these to review, and I won't be able to be without it. These are the Analog Relax. Angie, can you tell us a little bit about these cartridges?
These are exquisite cartridges. They have different wood materials that they use. They are top of the line. Both the 1000 and the new 2000 use a 2,000-year-old wood. If you go to their website, they describe the hardness of the wood and how limited. So the 1000 and the 2000 share that. They have another model called the 500, which is what I'm going to send Anthony. And then
the EX500.
I'm going to send you the EX500.
That is a load of crap, lady. I want the EX2000. Don't even think about sending me that 500.
I can't send you. You know why I can't send you the 2000?
Why is that, Ange?
You asked for this, all right? Because I sent it to Michael Fremer.
Who?
Yeah.
That hump? Fremer?
Oh, he's my buddy too.
I know. Let's put it this way. Angie and I love Michael. We've known him a long time. We've partnered with him. We've done a lot of things with that guy. But that guy's a hump. Okay, let me tell you. I did the phasmation. I put that company on the map, and then that hump from a copy. And he probably stole my whole fucking review.
He loves the phasmation too, honey.
I know he does.
He's getting a 300,000 plus turntable.
I saw it. Incredible.
It's like jewelry.
I saw.
And I said, if you're getting that, you have to have this. So that's why I sent it to him first.
No, of course, absolutely. He's the legend. He's incredible. Just ask him. Anyway.
So this is I just actually took this off from the Pure Fidelity table, which has the Glanz arm, so I can detach the head shell. Whoops, here.
Oh, lovely.
So this one is it's a darker wood, so it's like a walnut wood. So this one is the 300.
Wow. Well, I'm happy. I'm just teasing. I'm happy to review any of them, Ange. And I'm honored to be in Mr. Freeman's footsteps. So that'll be absolutely fine. And then,
what's the retail on those, Angie?
I have the 500 here, ready to go for you.
Oh, yeah, Ange. Sky, what was your question, bud?
What was the retail price on those?
They range in price because I don't remember prices anymore. It ranges from 5,000. These are US, 5,500. The 500 that I'm sending to Anthony is 6,750. Maybe I'll send you the 1,000.
Yeah,
it's $17,550.
That will compete with the Kai and way to kick its ass. That's
and the 2,000's 22,500.
So there you go. So yeah, that'll be great. So Michael will do the 2,000. I'll do the 1,000, and we've got it covered, like we did with the phasmation.
Well, he's doing the phasmation, yeah, the 2,000 analog. So this one I want to show you. This is the 500.
Let me just.
So you can see the color of the wood is different. That's a softer maple finish.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now the cantilevers change as well. So they go anywhere from boron to diamond, sapphire and diamond. So there's more to it than just the body itself. But what I love about them is their love, their passion, their feeling for music. And one of our legendary cartridges, which is no longer manufactured, which we've used for years, most audiophiles have one, and that's the Koetsu cartridges. So they're no longer making them, but they're servicing them and retipping them. So this could be a good alternative for somebody who wants. It's not as relaxed as some of the Koetsus were, These are a lot more emotional in the mid-range, which is what Koetsu is as well.
Yeah.
So this is an alternative to someone who's mourning the loss of a Koetsu and not being able to buy one. Then, do I still have the floor?
Yes, of course.
I want to do an unpacking. I just got it in today.
Oh, okay.
So this is the airtight.
Oh, okay. Remember
So
the
I
code?
might even send you this one.
Remember the
But
code I
look
was?
at this pack, you guys see. So first of all, they come like in a cardboard box. I have to. Okay, but look what
Oh,
you get
it's
inside.
Oh,
Look at this beautiful.
airtight.
Wooden box.
Love it.
Oh gosh, here, hand wrapped. It's a wood box. I mean, this is the Japanese way. They're very detailed. Look at this.
Gorgeous. Oh, I mean, the Japanese. I mean, it's just amazing.
I'll never be able to do it back up the same way, but
Well, you're going to send it to me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
so here we go. Do you have time to do 2 cartridges?
Yeah. Of course I do. Yes.
Okay.
All I do is listen to cartridges all day long. I love they're like jewelry to me.
Okay, so wait, we're not done yet. So hold on. So this is the box within a box.
It's amazing they put a
which
felt
model is it?
inside the box.
Look at this. So
What
they
model
give
is it,
you-
Angie?
I'm sorry. This is oh, it just slipped my mind. The PC1 Supreme.
Oh wow.
And then in the little box, which we'll figure out how to open this. Okay, maybe a rehearsal was needed. I don't know how to get it open. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it is a drawer. Okay, so here's the drawer that opens. There's the cartridge.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, just send it to me. We'll look at them. Jan will get them back to you in perfect shape. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah. How much?
This would be 11,000 US dollars.
See, that would be commensurate with the Kai. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, send them both, Angie. We'll get them done quickly for you. And oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So now we know how to open it here. But that's like pride and joy when you're opening this up.
Mhm.
Now, Analog Relax also has accessories, which I wanted to show you.
Okay.
They have, your typical record brush, but it's not typical. They use, the differences between all these brushes that look the same is what they use in the bristles and how they align the bristles in the handles. So these are scattered instead of all lined up. So it gets into the groove and picks up a lot of the backup. Actually, I think I have a brush here. I don't know where it went. Yeah, here it is. Here you could see it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see how it's scattered?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they have a really unique brush. It's an anti-static brush.
I've seen
Now,
that.
what do we use it for?
Like a makeup
What do we
brush.
use it for? Look at this packaging.
Looks like a makeup brush.
It's
So
like a
beautiful.
nice leatherette box. And then you get this inside. You know what that's for? To brush your gear with.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Sounds good.
Because
We need
of the
that.
static and so on, especially in the winter time, which by the way, get your humidifiers out, everybody.
Yeah. It's
You
true.
need to have your humidifier in the winter time, or you'll have static. You'll pop your preamp. You'll pop any of your digital gear. The strangest thing happened with an audio research preamp, middle of winter. All of a sudden, the preamp goes full tilt volume. Can't control it. Run for the power cord to pull it out of the wall. That was static energy that made that happen.
Oh, God. Well, beautiful, Ange. Oops, send me. Just remove that. Send me your stuff. We'll get it done. And the record. I'll remind you. I know you got lots of things on, and we'll keep talking.
I have that set that just you flip through. Did you
What's
want that?
Which one's that, my love?
The one you just flipped through on your
Oh,
screen.
Thing.
I've got Angie. I've got that. You
Oh yeah,
sent-
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome, Danny Lamar Evans. Hi, Danny.
Well,
How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming on. Let me just give you a solo layout. Danny, where are you from?
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, very nice. And what got you into classical music?
Actually, I got into it. My ex-wife's grandmother had a collection of records that she gave me back in 2015, and she had some Noel Coward, and a bunch of other Broadway shows, albums, and I came across Van Cliburn, Van Cliburn is from Fort Worth. I mean, he was
right.
Yeah, so he passed away. I think maybe it's been over 10 years since he's been gone. And one day I just played it on my stereo and I just fell in love with it. And then I started doing a little more research. I just started getting into Arthur Rubinstein and Fritz Reiner, which I was able to get the what was it?
Show us the record.
I was able to purchase this album for Analog Productions. I got it for like $40. It was like $40. I didn't want to get the 45 RPM album, and then I was able to get some more from like a antique shop. I got them for like 98 cents.
Oh, like Jim and Scott.
Which I already knew Andre Previn, which I'm a Sinatra fan. He was married to Mia Farrow, and I was able to get this one for like $1.
Wow.
Oh, right.
And then I was able to get some more opera. This one is off the
Just watch the glare there. There we go. Down a
RCA.
bit. There we go. Lucia Lamo. Oh, beautiful.
And I got this one for another one for $1. The Fritz Reiner
Oh,
Tchaikovsky.
wow. That's fun. Have you heard that yet?
Yeah, I listened to it. This
It's
is
it's
a mono
incredible.
pressing. It's a mono pressing, and it's flawless. I got it for 98 cents.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
Were you in England at the charity shops where Jim shops? Jim gets all the records.
now there's a place called Doc's Records, and they have people come in and sell records, and then they take them to the antique shop. And so I go there quite a bit. But I'm mainly Sinatra, Cole, Nat King Cole, which is my channel, King Cole 1965.
Yeah, tell
that's
us what did you, and next time just put your channel up on your name. What's the name of your channel? Let's get you some subs and some views.
It's called King Cole 1965. And then I have a Sinatra channel, Luck Be a Lady at 65, because I was born in 65. So that was mainly, but I'm mainly more of the Nelson Riddle, Gordon Jenkins, Glenn Osler.
Axel Stordahl.
Yeah, Axel Stordahl. Yeah. I wind up buying the Frank Sinatra box set, CD set of his Columbia recordings. I kind of like him, but I really don't. But I liked Axel's last Point for No Return. I just think that was one of
that violin opening. Is so gorgeous. I know every time I hear it, and it's so beautifully recorded. I have mono, and it's a really good pressing in mono. And it's, the playing is so good, and the arrangements.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, more or less Gordon Jenkins. For some odd reason, Gordon Jenkins makes me cry. I hate to say that, but I'm a big fan of Nat King Cole. So it just got me into more other music, and classical has been something new to me.
My wife got me into Nat King Cole. Her parents used to listen to it when she was a kid, and I mean I knew he was a legend, but I didn't realize he was such a great singer and a great jazz pianist.
I had a chance in '95 to visit Capitol Records and met with Bob Nurnberg. That was the chief mastering, but I don't think he's there anymore. I think he retired. And I talked with Larry Walsh a couple of times, and I made some good friend of mine. I'm just gonna put his name out there. His name is Jonathan Taylor. He's been a real good friend of mine. He's a big Nat King Cole fan, so he's helped me. And then I got you guys now too. As
well, you're welcome anytime, Danny. You're part of our family. Let me ask you a question: Are you a professional musician, or are you an amateur musician?
Amateur. I play guitar.
You play guitar?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. Well, as long as you love music, and it's how long ago how old were you when you discovered classical music? Was it in your 30s?
I was 50.
Isn't that amazing? We were just talking about that earlier. You know, Jim and I have been in it since we were just out of diapers. But it's so nice to when you discover that music.
And you talk about the audio equipment. I wound up buying a Audio Techna. Looks like the Techniques turntable, and I just put like the Shure M97 XE, and I paid like $99 for it. But I have my dad's audio equipment. He has a Macintosh. He gave me his Macintosh 2100 power amp and C26 preamp, and the Calypso Forte speakers. And
Nice
he bought the Macintosh set in 1970, and it's never been serviced. It's
That's the good old Macintosh.
Yeah.
Place.
Yeah.
It really is.
Old school. Yeah.
Yeah, most of my friends that are in law enforcement, because I'm a police officer, and a lot of the guys that I work with, so, oh man, you need to get to something digital, and I'm like, no, I'm strictly analog.
Oh yeah. Well, there is great digital now. We're very, very lucky. Carl's not on tonight. He's away in Finland, but he'll talk your ear off about digital. Well, Danny, it's fantastic to have you. Please come on anytime. The what's it called goes. Let me just get rid of this for a second. Then we can then we have room for one more if someone wants to come up. But let me just get rid of that for a second. We have the wonderful Sky. So Sky, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
Are you kidding? You well, it's not. I mean, we got a whole like a big extended family. So do you have a couple? We got about. 16.
I do, but I think before I go ahead, I have a movie recommendation for Jen. It's a Chevalier. It's on Amazon Prime. It's only like $4 to rent. It is absolutely fantastic. It's a Bolognese, a French composer, and also violinist. Mm-hmm. I highly recommend it. It's the first 5 minutes. It has an incredible hook. So I think it will be a great date night movie in my opinion.
There you go, Jen. The date night movie Chevalier. Listen, Sky, do me a favor, will you? Will you stop hitting on my wife? Okay, just stop hitting on my bloody wife. Okay. Now, Sky, before you go on, we always see the turntable just to your right. What turntable is that?
So that's Oracle Delphi, and then here's my clear audio.
Just keep it on there for a sec. I mean, you're good looking, but we'll keep it on there for a sec. Okay, and what's the phono stage underneath?
Phono stage is lab 12.
Oh yeah,
because I have 3 tone arms.
Beautiful. Yeah. That clear audio. I love that wood. And of course, Angie, did you say Oracle?
Oracle Delphi, yes.
Yeah, Angie.
That's like first generation.
Yeah, it is the first generation with a puck. It has been modified. There's a puck underneath, actually, by Fremer's friend in Los Angeles. This was years ago. So it's been really modified for that. It has a microbands LP cartridge, but I do love my Koetsu. There's nothing like Koetsu. I actually love my Koetsu. I really do.
Do you have a mono cartridge on one of those arms?
No.
I do have a mono cartridge, the Hana cartridge, but I also have another old Koetsu. It's called the Sopex cartridge. I also love that too. It's just like you said, Anthony. Cartridges are like
it's like jewelry. I know. I mean, I'm getting 2 from Angie. I'm already thinking I'll get the review set up. I can't wait to listen to them. And that, of course, I can't have the 2000 because that's gone somewhere else.
2000. Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking forward to
her other boyfriend. Sorry,
that would be a fun review.
And I've got here. Hey, James, how are you? How's life in? Now you're not. Are you in Dayton?
Whoops.
There you are. Are you in Dayton, Ohio?
No, I'm Cleveland.
Oh, you actually live in Cleveland. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I'm in Columbus now.
That's in Columbus.
Yeah, I just came back from Cleveland, but
yeah, you get that Cleveland Orchestra out of your mind. Okay.
Well, I'm going to be up there. I'm going to tell Robert Wolfrey about he's in the top 10 now, so he'll be real happy with that.
No, he's not. He got that job. I coached him. He only got that job because I coached that bugger, and he still owes me. No, he's the one. He still owes me a bottle of wine because he loves Michael Tilson Thomas. And you know what? After what that poor man's been through collecting Mahler 5 when he's sick, I have nothing but the greatest respect for him. And Michael and Robert and a lot of other my friends who work with Michael Tilson Thomas adore him. And some friends in the LSO, he's the only guy that buys the whole orchestra dinner after a tour. No other conductor orchestra. And so I love Michael Tilson Thomas, but he said, Michael's going to get Chicago. I went, he's not gonna. Great, but Chicago wants, if not the Berlin guy, the next guy. So he didn't get it. So Robert still owes me a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Mekala, though, I'll tell you, he's on a roll, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Now, did you say did you see him, or you're going to see him?
We're going to see him tomorrow. We're going to go see him tomorrow. Then I travel to New York and see my son play at Lincoln Center.
How exciting!
Yeah.
Isn't that?
And
wonderful?
I'd like to tell James that they're going to play Wigmore Hall, and I'm not sure of the date, but if you're in London, I'll let you know. And
all right, yeah, let me know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jim, you got to go to that concert. Oh my, Wigmore Hall is the most beautiful location.
Yeah.
Jim and I both
Yeah,
played
I've
It's-
been there. I've been there 3 times. Yeah.
You really? It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I've even heard the London Symphony.
You have? Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding you. Yeah. The also is it's typical London orchestra. When they're playing under their music director and the Barbican, which is it's not a great hall. It's not the seventh hall. And they play well. They do some great stuff. But I paid for a ticket online to see them play Miraculous Mandarin, excuse me, with Simon, which they'll play brilliantly in Berlin, which means we're going to Berlin. We're playing in a great hall. Now, Berlin Phil, they get him a cake and everything. You're in the audience. Now listen to how we play this piece. And they were incredible. So you've got to get them in the right mood. Cleveland, you can go anytime, any night, walk into one of the world's great halls. There's nothing going on. All the players, the principal players are up there. It's the same principal players, no subs. Like in London, you get 50 subs in the orchestra.
Right.
And when I went to see Brooklyn 5 there with Doc Nanny, and it was magnificent. So yeah,
when was that? What year was that?
Jim will know the date. Jim, what year did we go on that tour?
I mean, was it before 2000 or was it after?
It was about 92, wasn't it? 19,
okay. Well,
92.
If you get back this way, you should hear it now because it's completely different. The hall it's much better than it used to be. I mean, the hall was clear before, but now it's completely redesigned. They put about 70 or 80 million into it and took the shell out.
Yeah.
Cool. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, before we say our goodbyes, Sky, did you have a record to show us?
Well, I actually, I don't know if you guys bought it.
Hang on. Let me get you big.
I was wondering if anybody bought this album.
You know what?
No.
I just spent $170 on an esoteric, and have you heard that yet?
Yes, I did. I actually have the original.
So what do you think?
I loved it, but there's actually a flaw in the original. It's like the fourth track. You can really hear the tape grind. They cleaned up really well, and it sounds really good. So it's definitely worth it. They really cleaned up this well. So if I'm looking forward to seeing the reviews come out, because if they mentioned without listening to this, I think you can still hear it in the track 4, but they cleaned up really well. So I definitely recommend it.
Oh, good recommendation. There you go. And the other one is, did you have something else?
Yeah, we talked about the Mozart. Here are the couple of, these are extremely inexpensive to purchase, and I highly recommend. Do not sleep on these. These are the Academy of St. Martin's in the Fields. These are absolutely like $5, and it will be amazing. I mean, whenever I found this and the same Academy of St. Martin's in the Fields, I always buy these for my friends because they just sound freaking so good. They really do. And another Mozart I highly recommend.
That's a beautiful one. The Gaze Under.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's on tube. It's great. Now, one I purchased. I am not affiliated with Elusive Disc, but I purchased this. So this is I didn't know anything about this. This is the Duport cello concerto number 4 and 5. He actually did 21 works of cello So he's a classical era composer, but he's cellist. It's the Beethoven sonatas, cello sonatas are actually, he got help from Dupart to produce those cellos. So this, I was extremely surprised how it sounded on my system. And they only, Elusive Disc only did 500 of these. So currently it's selling about $39 on Elusive Disc. Again, I'm not affiliated with Elusive Disc, but this is a fantastic record. Don't sleep on this. Really get it. It sounds great.
Well, more Jan, get the Discogs quickly. Elusive Disc.
Elusive Disc.
Okay.
And only 500 they produce. So it's really, I don't know why I got it. I never heard Dupart, but it sounds fantastic. It really sounds fantastic.
Okay, before, we got a couple minutes. I want to just show one record tonight. This is for your homework, guys. Mozart's last 3 symphonies. If you only have, the records with the last 2 symphonies on, it's fine. But 39, 40, and 41 kind of go together like coffee and cake. I mean, he wrote them all in 6 weeks. They're 3 absolute masterpieces. This is the recording, one of the recordings I have. It's the Speaker's Corner, Giuliani, New Philharmonia, Symphony number 40 and 41. Superb. Beautiful is the original, the Speaker's Corner Decca. And that image, I don't have it up right now. That image that Angie showed is the esoteric box that is very hard to find now. Very expensive.
I've got some.
Angie's got some. If you want to get the late Mozart symphonies, esoteric, Berlin Phil, Carl Böhm, gold standard. Incredible. There's those. And so what I'm looking for, guys, from the Peanut Gallery and for our team and for our guests is Mozart 39, 40, 41. Have a listen, stream, see what you like, see what you got in your collections. And yeah, let's talk Mozart. So next week we have Oswaldo, who's from Debbie Sound. Scott will be back. Jack will be back, and Jim will be back. So let's go around. First to Angie. Anything else to show us before you leave today?
I'm in the store, so I'm not at home. But I dug out a couple of things. I've showed this before in the 45s. This is just another one that I had.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
A Deutsche Grammophon.
Just hold it. Bring it down a bit. Bring it down. Oh, the pines. Oh, cool. Oh, Frick Joy. Oh, God, that's beautiful. Yeah, he's amazing.
I had some at home I wanted to show you, but
come on
next time.
Yeah. You have some busy times. You have to get Arnold tomorrow. He's going to be shipping 2 cartridges in a record. I'm going to email him tonight and say.
And we got to find.
Hang on, what, Jan?
We've got to find the CD.
Oh, very nice. What did you say, Jan? Yeah. Oh, and Jan says, could you tell Arnold no signature? Just tell him we don't need a signature. Oh God, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, you know Arnold. He's pretty thorough.
Yeah.
I know, but he doesn't live on the island.
Okay, no signature.
Oh, that's that quintessence stuff that's really amazing. And $5.
Yeah.
Beautiful symphony.
And something different.
Oh, look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a Telarc. Look at
yeah.
the picture in the back, though. Pretty awesome.
Audrey says, "Great show, Anthony, with your lovely panel. I know, aren't they the best?" And we have Danny on tonight, brand new from Fort Worth. Casadesas. Is that even his name? Casadesas. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. That, yeah.
Danny, I would suggest look up my dealer. He's in just south of Dallas. Vibrant Hi-Fi. Tell him Angie said you're invited to his house. You gotta listen to his system.
Okay, I
And
will.
we gotta make him an analog guy.
Danny is an analog guy. He's just
I'm strictly out.
No, he's gotta make Todd an analog guy.
Okay, I have a question.
Oh, I see.
Anthony, I have a question.
Sure, go right ahead.
Are any of you have a problem with like I have to order my vinyl through Acoustic Sounds, and every time I go on Music Direct, they're constantly out of stock or back order. Do you know what the problem with them?
It's all about money. Scott mentioned this before, Danny. He's a little concerned that a lot of the stuff is out of print and it's not getting done. I asked Mike from the In-Groove. He was doing a what are they when they're selling records online, and an auction. Thanks, Dan. And I said to him, "Are we going to do classical?" And he just looked at me and he rolled his eyes like, "Oh, classical." Like it's not selling. We're down. We've been talking about this. We're down to 1%, Danny, and it's thank God there's people like yourself and a lot of amazing peanut gallery that are just getting into classical music. There's always going to be an audience, and the Cleveland Orchestra are always going to sell the Cleveland Orchestra out because the tickets go from generation to generation. Hockey tickets, right? But it's still a challenge. So yeah, they're not reprinting them. Sometimes you get lucky. You have to go on Discogs or eBay and just get lucky.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Try pre-orders as well.
Okay, I know. I tried like Amazon, but how I got to this channel was the Pressing Matters. The guy Scott that runs it, and I really enjoyed. He just popped up one day, and I just got into it. I was like, "Man, this guy has the same stuff that I like to have."
Scott is the gold standard. Scott makes videos that we all wish we made. He's so eloquent and he's so knowledgeable, and his vault is incredible. But Jim's coming in strong from London. Jim does a throwdown every week. We haven't shown many records tonight. I thought we'd have lots of time to show records, but listen, guys. Before we do the
Anthony.
Yes, go ahead, Sky.
Quick thing, Danny. It's also anyone that's trying to collect records. One caveat with Philips label: do not buy made in Italy. Period.
Yeah.
If you're getting a Philips label, make sure it is made in Holland and Netherlands. And the same thing with the London FFRs. If you're buying it, make sure they are made in England, not in Holland. So those are the things, because those pressing arts really are the best.
Yeah. Always think about if it's made in England, it's usually okay. So Joey says, "Wonderful, welcome, Danny. Wonderful to have you." And of course, he says, "Great show." And Ozzy says, "Great show with your lovely panel." Of course, it was amazing. And Alan said, "Today I listened to Beethoven Eroica, Munch Living Stereo, and Haydn Night Score on the London Stereophonic after Degrida cleaned." Oh, I know the Degrida is like part of my vinyl set. I'm doing a new vinyl video, my vinyl setup, and the Degrida is incredible. It makes. I mean, how the hell can it make the soundstage? It's just, it cleans the crap out and it just makes the records sing. It really does. But it's expensive. They're not cheap. And Angie's got the KL audio, right, Ange? How much is that? 7 Gs?
About that, yeah.
It's gorgeous, though. And
it's about 9 Canadian, about 7 US. Yeah.
So as we're finished here, first of all, I'd like to say, great to see you, James. Make sure you say hi to your son. I had his name up on the guest coming in, but I'm going to ask him first before I put his name up.
Okay.
But I have great hopes that he's going to come on. Would love to talk to him. We have some great guests coming up. Jim, what's going on this week? You've got some NHS stuff, and I see Simon Rattle behind you on the photographs. No Simon Rattle this week?
No. I'm going up to Liverpool again this week.
God, I know. It's never sorting the house up. Your mum's. Yeah. Well, good luck with that, bud. Angelina, tomorrow, the esoteric and the 2 cartridges I will look after. You know, you're going to get them back perfect. Okay. We haven't launched a cartridge yet, and I'll get the reviews done. And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to seeing Michael's review of the 2000. I know it'll be a wonderful review and so coherent and excellent.
Are you coming to the Toronto show?
No.
Yeah, I'm not doing it either.
I know you're not. If I was going, you'd know it because I'd be coming to stay with you. Danny, it was wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for coming up.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Fort Worth's finest and loving classical music.
Oh, yeah.
Will wonders ever cease? Anybody else on the force in the brotherhood loving classical music?
No, I'm the only one.
I saw you.
Everybody else
okay.
thinks they think I'm strange and
That's okay.
weird.
Yeah.
Strange and weird.
Yeah, I've always been told
You
that.
also have the fantastic Van Cliburn competition every 4 years, is it?
Yeah, I never get a chance to see that. I've been wanting to go to the Fort Worth Symphony, but I just hadn't had a chance to go.
I know
yet.
playing that band. Very good. Yeah, well, enjoy. It's great to have you. Please come on again.
Thank
Sky, fantastic to see you, Jan. Jan's having a quick peek. She wants to see what you look like. Okay, stay away from that Sky. I'm sick of these guys hitting on you. Okay, Jan says hi, Sky. Anyway, Sky, thanks again we didn't get a chance to talk Beethoven tonight. We'll do Mozart.
Okay.
And Angelina, thanks for everything, my love. And Jim, always the best. So just stick around for a second while we hang up. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week. All the very best. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.